All right, let's dive into a pretty incredible modern myth. It's all about a woman who could literally speak the language of reality, but with a catch. She spoke it backward. This is the story of Zatanna, a stage magician who decided the greatest trick she could ever pull off was to completely unravel her own destiny. And right here, this is the heart of it all, isn't it? This amazing paradox. She's a performer, an entertainer, using the very code that builds our world, but she's twisting it, reversing it. So what's really going on? This isn't just about pulling a rabbit out of a hat. No, she's yanking on the very threads of existence, questioning all the rules from the second that curtain goes up. So, to really get what makes her tick, we have to start where she started. Trapped. Trapped in this beautiful, gilded cage of her own performance. She was an absolute master of illusions. But the biggest illusion of all? It was the one she was living every single night, making a crowd believe she was a master of the world. And this just nails the conflict she's living with. On one side, you've got the public face, the slick magician in the top hat and tails. It's safe, it's comfortable, and everybody loves it. But right underneath that shiny surface, that's where the other side is, the abyss, the raw, terrifying, and authentic power she was keeping bottled up. She wasn't just a performer, she was a bridge over chaos, and her audience had no idea. You know how in every great story, there's that one moment that just shatters everything? For Zatanna, it wasn't some huge explosion. It was just a quiet, razor-sharp whisper from someone standing in the shadows, just off stage. And there it is, John Constantine, a guy who basically smells of sulfur and forgotten gods, drops this devastatingly true line on her. He sees her holding cosmic power, the fire of the stars, and just calls her out for using it to do cheap tricks, to light a cigarette for the masses. Oof, that's not just an insult. That is the spark that's about to light a rebellion. And those words, they hit her right where it hurts. She looks into her dressing room mirror, and for the first time, she doesn't just see herself. She sees the crushing weight of her entire magical bloodline, this ghost of a lineage. It finally clicks that her heritage isn't about getting applause. It's about power. And that kind of power demands a price for every single word. And that's the moment of truth. Her stage, the one place she felt powerful and in control, was never her throne. It was a cage. It was the oldest trick in the magic book, the woman in a box, except she was both the magician and the one trapped inside, hiding her real self from the entire world. So how does she break out of a cage like that? Well, her escape isn't just about walking off the stage. It's a total philosophical rebellion. This is where her backward magic stops being a cool party trick and becomes her entire reason for being. Okay, so to really get what she's up against, we need to talk about the logos. Think of it like the universe's operating system. It's the fundamental rational law that says A leads to B. Cause always comes before effect, and time only moves forward. It's the script that everything and everyone is supposed to follow. No exceptions. And here's her four-step plan to tear it all down. First, she leaves the safety of the stage and steps into the dark, where the real monsters are. Second, she stops caring about applause. She's not speaking for anyone's approval anymore. Third, she learns to command the chaos itself. And finally, by reversing her words, she is literally unwriting the language of reality. She's not just breaking the rules, she's turning them inside out to create her own fate. But of course, when you try to rip up the universe's script, the universe, well, it tends to push back. Hard. And this brings her to the ultimate test, a showdown with the force that is the exact opposite of everything she's fighting for: silence, submission, and total control. Her enemy is called the Great Silencer, and yeah, that name tells you everything you need to know. His goal isn't just to win a fight, it's to mute her, to literally gag her soul and shove her back into that box for good. And to do it, to break her spirit, he shows her this horrifying symbol, a stone statue of a woman, bound and gagged. This isn't just some random threat. It's a reflection of the quiet, voiceless role she was supposed to play her whole life, as a daughter, as a performer, as a woman. But she refuses. She is done being silent. In this one incredible, climactic moment of pure defiance, she unleashes everything she has and just shatters that stone statue. And that's not just the sound of rock breaking, it's the sound of her own chains breaking. She is declaring once and for all that she is a law unto herself. And out of the dust of that shattered prison, her true self finally emerges. Her power crystallizes into something totally new, something transcendent. And it's all captured in a single, powerful, and deeply symbolic color. Magenta, not the simple white magic of a hero or the dark magic of a villain. This is something else entirely, something blinding, almost unreal, a color that exists outside the normal spectrum, announcing a whole new kind of power. And the symbolism here is just wow. Magenta is seen as the light of the soul star, the eighth chakra that connects us to the divine. It's the color that bridges the gap between the physical world, represented by red, and the spiritual world of violet. But most importantly, it's the color of the nonconformist, the free spirit who forges their own path. This isn't just a power-up, it's a visual statement of who she has become. And this brings us to the end of her journey. She's no longer an echo of her father, or a reflection for an audience, or an actress playing a part. She is the voice. She is the story. This is her final title, and she earned every single word of it. Sovereign, because she finally rules herself. Sorceress, because she has embraced the true depth of her power. And Queen, not of some kingdom, but of her own self-written destiny. And really, it all boils down to this incredibly powerful idea. Real magic isn't about spells and incantations. It's about will. It's the inner strength to control your own demons, your own chaos, while still carrying yourself with the poise and authority of a queen. It is the ultimate act of self-mastery. So we end with this question. Zatanna's story seems to suggest that when the echo finally becomes the voice, the rest of the world has no choice but to fall silent and listen. It's a powerful thought about authenticity, right? And it kind of makes you wonder, what are the echoes in our own lives, the scripts we're following, and what would happen if we finally found the courage to speak in our own true voice?